Also, we're going to have prayer led by Commissioner Gilbert, and the pledge will be led by Commissioner Alford. I want to welcome everyone that's here today. I look forward to hearing from each and all of you, actually, and Chief Stewart, and look forward to hearing your report. So at this time, I'll stand for prayer. Can I get approval for the May 15th, 2025 minutes? Motion made by Commissioner Thompson and seconded by Commissioner Winters. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Let's jump straight to the agenda items. The Chief, how is the new building updates going?
The latest that I've heard so far, we're going to, I guess we've seen it where the parking is going to go back with the property. That's what we know so far, and there's not much been going on out there right now, so not sure if it's going to go into the first of the year. That's the last I've heard on that, so on the building. Not heard much on the building.
All right. Are there any questions about this? Commissioner or Mayor, do you have any report on that?
Yeah, just to add to it a little bit, as you're well aware, yesterday you did approve the latest plan to take that bank down to the property line, the bank behind the new building. They said that they would probably get the dirt work done between Thanksgiving and Christmas. I don't know if that means the concrete also or just the dirt work, but they should get on it after Thanksgiving. And they did rebid the building, and I think they've accepted the new latest bids. So that will come then sometime after. But hopefully the dirt work and concrete will get done the next couple of months.
Do you have any other questions for the mayor?
Also, the parking in the back, all that's concreted. It looks great back there. Thank you guys for that. So,
good. Thank you.
Looks really good.
So the new parking lot was concreted, and they were able to do what we call the island.
Yeah.
It's now gone. So, like he said, that all looks good. We got the island done at no additional cost as part of the bids. That worked out good.
See if you have any questions for us by any chance.
No, sir.
All right. And a staffing update.
The staffing update right now, we are 6 short. Come January, we'll be 6 short. We're in the process of, we posted our jobs as of last week. That'll run till the 1st of January, and then we should start our process with our hiring the month of January and hopefully start them around February. So we're going to need 6 of that when it comes to it. So.
Okay. Have we started getting applications in already?
Yes, that started a week ago, and it'll go till the second week of January.
Is there any questions, Chief, about updating staffing? Okay. And this is something I actually ate on. It was a agenda item. I wanted to ask about the equipment status. I know that I've heard recently that our equipment is not the best, and I want to know why and if it's so or if not.
So on the equipment, so right now when we get into our slides here in a few minutes, it'll kind of break it down a little bit more. Right now we have a little more than 40 pieces of equipment. Some of those range 30 plus years up till, very new. So it's just trying to figure out a plan, which we'll talk about here in just a few minutes. But some of the equipment, like some of our small things, our water rescue equipment, some of our special ops equipment. We've got some extrication equipment that it needs to be rotated around, and we're still got some extrication equipment that's we're not able to get parts for, not able to work on, and so we're trying to do our homework, see who's out there that we can look at and demo, and see what equipment that we need to get.
And does anybody have any questions? Commissioner Thompson, or Commissioner Cry, I'm sorry.
What about all this equipment that we purchased here recently? How much did we purchase recently? Quite a bit, I believe, didn't we?
Last year we did purchase 2 engines and a rescue truck.
And what does an engine cost roughly?
Those engines we bought last year was about $400 a piece. That's for our outside rural areas. The engines today that's inside of our close station, more busy buildings, they're about 1.1 with about a 3 or 4 year wait. So some of the other equipment that we purchased was on grants. We did hit 2 grants with some thermal imaging cameras and some small water equipment that we needed ASAP.
So we purchased the engines, that's 400, 500,000 a piece. Then we eat into the tax, the fire tax. I guess when you start spending that kind of money, you run out of money pretty quick. And that's the point I want to make. It's a matter of priorities. Our fire department operates strictly, as I understand it, on the fire tax. And I travel around the Second District area, and it's kind of tough talking to these old farmers and people that live in little small homes about the fire tax. They're not pro increasing it, and we've got demands, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. Thank you.
Yep. Well, right now, I'll give you an example. We have one truck. It's a 2009 model. That truck has been in Chattanooga's shop for almost 2 months, which that's taken that truck out of service. We've relied on a backup truck to fill in its spot, and we only have so many. So there's only so many trucks we can change with that. And then of course we're manning eight stations that are full time. So each one has some sort of backup truck when they go down. And we're talking maintenance. Sometimes it's weekly and daily. That's some big parts and big things. And parts are being on order. Some parts are not we cannot find. Having a hard time finding some parts on the older vehicles.
Commissioner Thompson.
That's what I was going to ask him about the maintenance part of it, and talked to him about that before, and what it costs to send it down to Lee Smith and what they can do it here for you. So you might want to talk about that a little bit too.
Yes. So the gentleman we're using, Brown Trucking and Diesel. He's pretty much stays with us, and Bradley EMS as well. He's been a huge part of our maintenance. He's got us on a maintenance program. Records and everything are going good, but there's some things he cannot do, and when you do that and it goes to Lee Smith, again, we're $20,000-$30,000 a pop. This particular truck's up there in the 50s now. Been an 09 model, but it'll be going through, but we've got more trucks that could happen to each year. So I'm averaging about 2 of those a year, those trucks that go down that hard. So by him having that maintenance, he keeps the preventative maintenance going to just try to best we can to keep those trucks up and going. So,
Okay.
Commissioner Alford.
Mayor, don't we have another new truck on order or something? Or do we have all of them in that
We've
we've
got 'em
supposed
on.
to had?
Yeah, they're all here. I think the last thing we got was a command vehicle.
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought we had some coming. Okay, thank you.
Ambulance is one that's on order, I believe. Right, Adam, ambulance coming this fall. I guess spring now, but sometime soon. December.
Commissioner Thompson.
How many of the older trucks do you have left that needs to be probably in the next year or so be replaced?
Yeah, like I said, some of those trucks go 30, 40 square miles in their district, and they take a little bit bigger truck when they're going that far out. Some can go from Tasso all the way out to River Point, Upper River Road. That's 20, 30-minute drive out in those areas. And but we have some trucks. We've got one in Charleston. It's an 89 model. Some of our outline stations are 95s. They hit 30 years this year. And then our inner buildings, they're getting there. You know, they're good trucks. There's a 3 or 4 year wait. You know, we not be careful and get away from us, and it'd be 8 years, you know, before you know it. You start getting more than 1 or 2 trucks at a time.
At some time, during that 30 years or what, you said you hit 30 years, you may have one 30 years old, close to it. What happens, do they run out for the pumps? Are they obsolete, or what happens?
No, as long as it can pump test and do what it's supposed to do, it's fine. But when you can't find that part for it to be able to do a pump test or to be able to operate, then it goes out.
Commissioner Gilbert?
I just want to step back. You said you was shy of 6 employees, right?
Yes, sir.
Is the money still in the budget for them 6 employees for this year?
Yes, some of those have come from last year's in the early summer, late spring.
So that money's still
Yeah.
in the budget. It's still sitting there, right?
Chief, just for a question on that, on these older trucks, are those on the outlining or are those that are paid stations, or which? I want to make sure that our
Sure.
paid guys are.
Sure. It's a little both. Again, we have 5 volunteer stations: Chatham Valley, Valley View, Lead Mine Valley, Weather Switch area, Charleston, Eureka. Those are the older trucks of the whole fleet. As you come into it, we still have each, like Georgetown, Harrison Pike, Menace. Those have 2013, 2012 models, and then they'd also have some early 2000 brush trucks and things like that. We got an 04 tanker. Like I said, they're operational, but that time can get away from you quickly if you don't.
And I say that not because I don't think the volunteer stations are just as important as the paid one, but they're not used as much as the ones that our paid stations are using.
Right.
So I'm a little more concerned about those, or putting
Sure.
more mileage on them.
Yep.
But I think you just answered my question. Does anybody else have any other questions? About supply? Oh, all right. Internet update.
The internet, we've kind of cleaned up. We're just adding that to some areas, some of the buildings, as far as reporting system wise. There's nothing Miller is going. There's some buildings that we're not able to get internet just due to the rural area that they're in. But we're changing everything over. We've went to a new phone system. Host my calls. We've changed all that up in some of the buildings, especially with the new building. So it's going right along where it needs to be.
Good. How long? When do you think it'll be finished?
I'm spring, maybe late winter.
I kind of jumped in front of everybody. Does anybody have any questions about the internet? Seeing none, I guess we'll move on. The new reporting system.
The new reporting system, we've been using fire programs since day one. We've never changed. We've been with them 20 years. It's a little more than we need to be moving up and upgrading where we're at with that. Right now, we don't have anything in the trucks, as far as the paid trucks only, that we're able to get information similar to an MDT type thing. We're not able to find out hydrants, locations, or gas shutoffs, anything in commercial settings or that we need to know. Some of these hydrants can be 2 miles apart, and the quicker we can find those locations of those hydrants, the better for the gentleman going to these calls. With this new reporting system, we're trying to do our homework and see which one's going to be right for us, money wise, as well as us as a whole. And we want to do a one-stop shop. Right now, we're using another one called Active 911. That's the only way that I can get out to the volunteers as well as a paid staff with messaging of what calls. A pager or extra radio for the volunteers or the paid staff, they're very, very expensive. And I can't hand a radio to all 140 personnel. So we use a text message to be able to notify you where that call is. So right now we're using 3 or 4 different companies to do half of what we really need. With the new reporting, it's a one-stop shop. It'll give me everything I need. CAD integration in the trucks, messaging for the volunteers, so I don't have to buy pagers and radios as much. And until we get on the scene, then we can disperse a few radios out as they come on the scene. But this reporting system everything's switching to a thing called NERIS. It's where when we turn a report in, that it goes to the state of Tennessee, you have to submit those reports daily. And any fire that has to be investigated or vehicle accident or anything, those will have to be put into NERIS. And this new reporting system is well up to date with that, NERIS.
Is there any questions? Commissioner Alford?
What kind of money you looking at there, Chief?
So right now,
I don't see a Mr. Alford in your contacts.
Sorry.
What about
Right now, with what we have, we're probably spending around $12,000 on reporting, but it's only given us about 40% of what we need. If I was to add the things that we need extra, even more, it would probably put us around $17,000, $18,000 a year. With one of the systems that we're looking at, reporting system, it's right around 20, which is the one-stop shop. I don't have to have 4 different companies. It's one business that does everything. So it's right around 20.
Have you got any kind of concrete estimate on that?
I do.
Of what you would prefer, rather?
Yeah, and it's based off of selective things, pre-plans, as well as 911 system. 911 advised me we're the only agency that doesn't have anything as far as AVLs, anything in our systems to where they're able to locate us, give us the information, because if 911 goes down, we're not able to get that information out through a page, so we can able to get it through that text message as well. So if we have flags, something that needs flagged, we can see that in the trucks without right off as soon as we pull out of the building.
So you mentioned a lot of stuff, but what's the total bottom price?
It's about 20,000.
Okay, that's
Sorry.
what I'm trying to
Yeah.
get to eventually here.
20,000.
That would do all your trucks or do what you need?
Yeah, do everything I do. Ever put reporting through the whole entire department and all the trucks. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
We have any other questions? Commissioner Thompson?
Chief, it's, I guess one thing I'm interested in is the staffing part of it. You said you had, 6 fixing to graduate or whatever for staffing?
Yeah, I'm missing 6.
You're missing 6.
And I've got 2 that's looking at other places January and February, as of right now that I know of.
What do you mean looking, brother?
I've got one going to EMS in January, and got another one looking at Middle Tennessee, February, which would then put us up to 8.
Have you got any in line going to rookie school or whatever? And how are you working on that? I'll put it that way.
Yeah, we've got the applications out until the middle of January. We're taking applications now. And then we'll start the process in January for the written and agility. Start rookie school in February. I don't know if that answers.
It's you talk about one that's going to another unit, I guess, but are you having problems with that? Firemen leaving you and going to other places, or what?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Is it a big quantity or just 1, 2 at a time or what?
When you do 2 here, 1 here, 2 here, 1 a month, something like that, it's a pretty big deal. And then the city of Cleveland's got applications open now till January. We're having to wait till after their process to make sure that we usually average 2 or 3 to 4 that applies for the city of Cleveland.
What's the biggest reason for that?
It's salaries.
Salaries?
Yes, sir.
Are we way off or close by?
Yes, sir.
Are we way off?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's all I have.
Commissioner Gilbert.
When you say one's going to EMS, is it because he took the EMS school, or is it the pay?
He can do the same pay and work 800 hours less and can advance up when he goes to EMS. So when he does 2472s instead of 2448s, he's working 800 hours less than what he was on a fire truck. That's what he told me. So that's his explanation to me.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Back on this new reporting system, I did have a question on
Yeah.
that. That 20,000 is, you'll have to put computers in the trucks also, will you
Yes,
not?
sir.
Does that include those computers?
No,
or-
so that's
so it'll
just
be on
the-
top of it?
That's just the,
Which will be basically a one-time
Yes.
for so many years, and then
Yes, sir.
you'll transfer them over. I know EMS a while back went to a different system and they supplied the computers. Do we still use that same system? Is that something that we may be able to go into, or does this reporting system just not do that?
well, we can actually start the reporting system without putting everything in the trucks. This reporting system would take a good year to really get set up. We don't have any pre-plans set up in our existing one. We'd have to create all that so that we can put it in that. So it'll take some time to set everything up, gather everything up. This is just kind of letting you know what we're looking at. And, it'll take a minute to set everything up. It takes them about 3 months just to switch everything over.
The only reason I brought that up is because EMS is that computer was a Tough Notebook or something. Yes, and that's where I was like, well, that's be kind of nice. But anyway, is there any other questions about the new reporting system or anything else on this agenda for all that? Commissioner Alford.
Adam, on your computers, what was the cost of getting your stuff in?
So I was not there when that contract was first negotiated, but essentially they provide them to us at no cost. Now, there's no such thing as a free lunch, so we're paying for it. I'm sure they've built in the fees. I don't think it would be an option for fire, although they have a fire module. Fire does not run calls and then turn around and bill like we do. So there's no revenue that comes in that then is paid to ESO or to the company. So more than likely they would, number one, have to pay for the software outright, and number two, pay for the computers outright as well.
So, Chief, you're looking at the computers also. What kind of figures you thinking about there?
I'm still in the homework phase of that, accumulating everything up. If I had a rough guess, first off, we got to find out which software we want to go with. We've got it narrowed down to 3, and those have to be compatible with either an iPad or a Toughbook. We have to see which one it can be compatible to.
So you'd be putting a computer in each fire truck, basically?
Just only the paid staff.
Just the page. So
Yes,
how
sir.
many is that?
9 trucks.
So you'd need 9 computers,
Yes, sir.
basically.
That would be the shift commander and then the existing paid apparatus.
So you're looking at 20,000 for the program, then 9 computers, basically.
Yes, sir.
But we don't have any idea on that cost yet.
Not yet.
When are we going to get
I'll
something?
get it to you, though.
Okay, thank
Yes, sir.
you.
Yes, sir.
Sooner the better.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions? Seeing none, we will move on to other business. Is there any other business? Hey, Commissioner Alford.
Just a quick question, Chief. How many calls do y'all average a month?
Stand by. We're right around between 250 and 300.
Most of them fire, wrecks, or what?
It's pretty split. You've got a lot of medical. We do up to about 12 medical assist, different types of medical assist with Director Lewis's EMS, and all the way down to lift assist, all the way up to unresponsive. Brush fires, it's averaged between 250 and 300 a month. Around 3,000, 3,100 a year.
Now, do y'all send a truck out for every emergency fire ambulance call?
If we get dispatched to one, we send an apparatus to that call. Yes.
Is that pretty standard always, Adam?
Standard compared to other communities?
Yeah,
Or,
right.
I mean, it is. I mean, we have the similar arrangement with the city of Cleveland Fire
Right.
Department as well. County Fire will run a few more calls than City Fire will, but that is pretty standard.
That's standard. What's your normal shift?
Normal shift call wise,
No, your normal shift personnel.
wise, there's supposed to be 23 on each shift. That's a battalion commander and down.
Hours. How many hours a day do they
Oh,
work?
24 hours,
24 on,
48 off.
48 off.
Yes, sir.
24 on, 48 off.
Yes, sir.
That standard pretty much stay that way all the time.
Yeah, that's pretty standard across the state. 24,
24,
48.
48.
Yes, sir.
So you work one day and you off 2 days.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Gilbert?
So when we buy a new fire truck, how long is the life of it? As long as you can fix it?
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you can keep it coming and the parts, but when you get in that 10 to 15 year range, you'll start seeing things go south quick, especially with the trucks now. I feel like they're not built as good as they before because of DEF issues, sensors. All these new trucks have sensors and DEF all over it, so you have to constantly keep that up and going, regen the truck. So it's that 10, 15 year range you need to be looking into.
And when you get to that microphone, I'm sorry about that. When you get to that point, what do they do with that truck when it's time to sell it? Will it bring a quarter of what it's worth, or you pretty much just try to get what you can for it?
So those types of trucks you're thinking about when you're talking about 300 calls a month, you can move those out to the volunteer stations and keep it rotated if that's somewhat my plan I'd like to do. Move those out, bring something new in, and you keep a rotation going. As long as it passes everything and we're able to get the parts, again, we can just keep that moving. Now, if we had to sell something, to answer your question, it's not bringing. I sold 2 trucks to another county. They brought 10,000 each. It's not nowhere near what we limited to gov deals or selling it straight to another county, or if you sell it out to another used dealer, such as Brilley Mountain, they're in the same boat. It's between $10,000-$20,000 bucks.
So what if you kept one 5 years? Would it be worth more? And could you sell it more or no?
No.
It's best
I mean,
just to
you're
use
gonna
them
get
all
more.
you can.
Yeah, you're going to get more, but you're not going to get
Significant amount.
$800 to $1 million out of that you see.
And the equipment's, I know a lot of times people buy vehicles pretty new and they trade them in. You get better trade-ins.
Yeah, no, it's
And what about equipment? The air packs and stuff like that. How long do they last?
10 years. We actually have the company in this week right now as we speak. They have to do annual testing to keep those up. It's just preventative maintenance that has to keep those air packs moving. In the last 2 weeks, we've had almost 12 structure fires in the last 2 weeks alone. So they've got their workout. It's been very busy in the last 2 weeks. Those are around 10 years, as well as the turnout gear. Some of these things have rules and what lifespan they have.
And suits, same thing?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Commissioner Winters?
Chief, you maybe sharing this in this proposal or what you have here. What, you said several were leaving our fire program to go to the city. So key, are we talking dollars and cents? And we're talking dollars and cents, what's the major difference?
I'm not sure. The latest I've heard with the city fire, they stay between 8, 9-ish ahead of us in the pay. Like I said, we usually lose in between 2 to 3. I've had up to 4 lose at one time to the city. And all those, we try to do exit interviews, statements, and ask them why the reasoning. And 90% of the time, it's salaries.
And what is the difference? If you're beginning difference and what's the mid difference of city county salary?
About 8,000.
Beginning?
Oh, I have no clue right now what the city's start out pay is, because it's different based on you're there 1 year to 2 years. I don't know on that. I can find that out for you to help me know that question. So.
In addition to dollars and cents, it's time. You can work less time in the city than you can in the county. Still make the same money. There's a difference of time of working the city versus county.
They're still in the same. I hope I'm answering you. They're still working the same shift hours as we do.
Okay.
Yes, sir. They're still 24/48s.
Okay. I thought you said earlier that if they worked the city, they could work the same hours and make more. No.
That's Bradley EMS.
Bradley EMS.
Yeah.
They're making more.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Commissioner Thompson.
Tough question. How we stand between now and budget time?
Can you repeat that?
How do we stand between now and budget time?
Personnel?
Everything.
Well, if we can get into this, that would really help you answer that. If we can get into this, it would help answer that question.
Are we good shape or bad shape?
We're right now with 5 or 6. You don't want to get any more. I've only budgeted for 6 sets of turnout gear for a new recruit class each year. So you don't want to get any more. That's around $4,000 a set for per person just for turnout gear. That's not counting the hoods and helmets and things that will show you the price of those in here, of what each fireman and what the recruit school is, the cost of those. It gets into that a little bit better for you.
Chief, is that what you're wanting to present?
Yes,
right at this moment? If you want to, right now would be the time to do it in other business. So if you wish,
yes, okay,
bring that forward.
All right. First off, again, thank you for allowing us to be here. We really appreciate you listening to us. I want to say, I know you're covering a lot of things, between the county and everything, the road department, the sheriff's department, the EMS, and we really appreciate you. I know you got to look out for everyone, but we just want to show you a plan of what our needs and what's out there and where we're at as a staff, and tell you quick what we do, because some of the questions I've had is, hey, what's your hours? What are you doing? This kind of hits that as well. Maybe give you a little better understanding. So first off, Bradley County Fire Rescue is dedicated to protecting the lives and property through professionalism, training, and community service. Our firefighters complete over 500 training hours annually to ensure top-level readiness through our fire prevention, and we engage the community installing as well as smoke alarms to the state of Tennessee, which we bring in 200 a year. We set those up in Charleston, East Cleveland, as well as South Bradley. Conducting school fire safety programs. We hit all elementary schools as well as daycares. That right around 8,000 in fire prevention, which is through donations. And participate in public outreach events. We're averaging about 15 public outreach events a month, year-round. Even during the holidays and family occasions, our members remain committed to serving and safeguarding the citizens of Bradley County. Bradley County Fire Rescue operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As we spoke, it's a 24, 48 hours shift work, providing a true all-hazard response to our community. I'm very, very pleased with what we have in this department because when I go around, I'm a mutual aid coordinator. Being a coordinator for 50-something departments in this tri-state area, there's a lot of places that don't have what we have. And I mean, we're very blessed with what we have. Let me say that first and foremost. We are very blessed with what we have. So we want to, I want to broadcast that and tell these guys how much I thank them for what they do 24/7, all hazards, and we're able to do everything in-house. We're not having to go to the state academy, and we're able to do everything in-house at a low cost. We're able to teach our own people. We're very blessed with that. Our department is dedicated to protecting lives, property throughout the continuous readiness, responding to fires, medical emergencies, rescues, and disasters of every kind. Together we stand ready day and night and to serve and protect the citizens of Bradley County. Bradley County Fire Rescue continues to make significant impact on the safety and well-being of our community. Our ISO rating improved to a Class 3, which was a huge, that's you guys, that's us. That was a huge step going from a 4 to 3. There is only just so many hundred departments in the state that's a 3. That is a huge, huge step. That sets your insurance ratings for all these different companies. Reflects on our department's commitment to higher standards, improves response capabilities, enhance community protection. It's a big audit through our files, our maintenance, everything. Through our rapid response, our crews are often first on scene when seconds matter the most with our medical calls, providing critical care that are directly save continuous lives. We want to work continuously with Director Lewis and Bradley County EMS. Again, some of these buildings are out further, and we're able to get out there and reach out to them quicker. We have trainings in-house twice a year, a month each with them as well. There's a lot of firefighters that are also EMS workers that we have to keep up with those hours through them. And we're trying to help him, we want to add a call or two more, different types of calls more to help benefit, such as seizures, as well as semi-responsive. This dedication to excellence and service underscores our mission to protect every citizen in Bradley County every hour of every day. To continue meeting our mission safe and effective, we must address some critical shortfalls in staffing, equipment, and apparatus that we've already dealt with, that we've talked about. We are, this 67 active full-time firefighters, that is from battalion commander down. We're at 73, counting me down, as well as admin. We right around 35 volunteers across the state. Volunteer numbers have gone down. 35-ish is right around the average amount of volunteers across these areas. We do have a strong volunteer department. You've got to change the culture. These men and women work daily jobs. They do meet every single Thursday. We try to have paid staff interact with them so that we can kind of change that. We can have responses a lot better out in the county with us, with their help. We actually had about 10 volunteers come out to Cohutta Road Fire, which took almost 5 hours at the state line. And we had to have mutual aid as well as other volunteers come in to help us cover the county. And we actually had 3 more calls, brush fires, come out at the same time with that fire. 39 fire apparatus, with the majority of these being over 10 years old and some being over 20. Daily we average 2 firefighters staffing apparatus due to the shortage that we have. Way short than the minimum standards, safety standards for the state of Tennessee, causing the delay in some times in actions due to safety requirements, due to 2 in, 2 out. We are 4 inside of the big buildings, and we're 2 on the outside. But when we kind of get short-staffed, and if we're not careful, when we get up to 5, 6, 7, 8 people missing, and then you do vacation and sick, it can go down quickly and go into just 2 across the board. and then that affects us with our operations. And that you only have 8 people on a scene if we're not careful. So here's some of the things we do. We stand day to day with operations with fire, house fires, commercial vehicles, wildland. The biggest one we had recently was last year. It was 300 acres. We're averaging about a 10 to 20 acre brush fire weekly throughout the county. Rescues, car accidents, commercial accidents, etc. Medical, advanced life support, CPR, overdose, OB, adult, children, mass casualty, unresponsive, semi-responsives, seizures that goes into it. Special operations with rope, water rescue, trench, confined space. We've got a training program that we've got going on right now with Captain Stennett, that we're doing these specialty trainings throughout the year just so we can stay on shape with it. Those are types of calls that don't come out often. If you don't train on it and keep sharp, then you're going to forget those. We have a lot of guys in-house that brings their own equipment, and they're great with that, and they're able to use their equipment to help us prepare for this and to make the department better in that area. Public relations, schools outreach, public outreach, churches, get alarmed. As we talked about earlier, we're averaging between 15 and 20 PR events. Most of these are in the city, as well out into the county. This is the call volume that we talked about a few minutes ago. This was, as you can see, January was 301, April was 244, and as you get down into October and the fall of the year, the winter months, the fall months, the spring months is our busiest due to brush fires, as well as holidays when you're getting into the recreationals. We do have several rivers here in the county. This is the call volume. This ranges between 3,000 and 3,500. COVID, we were up in the 3,600s. 2016 with the brush fires, where we're not even able to use our gas grills due to how dry it was, that got very close to 3,600 calls as well. 300 square miles we're protecting, even the city of Charleston. Each district is probably covering about a 30 to 40 square mile. When we're dealing with 13 buildings, you've got 8 of those that are staffed, so that district becomes bigger. So we have a total of 13 stations, 8 career stations, 5 volunteer stations, 432 citizens that are being protected, and we are direct mutual aid partnerships with Cleveland Fire, West Polk, Highway 58, Hamilton County areas, McMinn County. We're very active with those when we need the help. We share about the same mutual aid giving as well as what we take in or what we hand out from mutual aid. So when we help them, they help us when we need. Some of the commercial growth, as we can see, is Vocker. We do annual trainings with Vocker, and a new one that we took on is TVA that we've recently taken on. That brings a little bit of money, comes in. We do with Olin Chemical. All these we have to do training. We have to do training with them. It's required through their company. Lindy, we had an incident last year with Lindy where a vehicle had released gases and it could have went south very quickly. And we got on that problem very quick and eliminated it. GE, Amazon, methane gas plants, which is the landfill, and of course more to come. Recently I've heard we're putting in 500 new houses off Flagstone subdivision area, as well as more off Old Parksville. And I've been in the mix with them of setting up hydrants, how we're going to maintain those 500 houses, and if we have any scenarios. And they're very close. They're very, very close. Most of these require special certifications, including but not limited to a certified hazmat technician. Any significant event of any of these facilities will warrant all the county response plus an all-call event. Again, we have 8 stations with the volunteer stations, and when it has an all-call event, due to backfilling, or if an event is so big, we have to send everything that we got. That happens when we send everything. That's usually about 10 times a year. Then we really have to ask for outside agencies to help cover the county. February, we ran 22 brush fires in an hour this past February due to lightning and a dry weather. And mutual aid companies was busy just like we were. So you didn't have that. We were blessed to have the equipment and the stations that we had, and the members come out. We had off-duty personnel come off to be able to come in and help and to cover those 22 calls within an hour. Increasing demand, limited resources. Each year with the growth in housing and business, our call volume are on an increasing trend and will continue to do so each year as the population increases. And with new technologies and vehicles, construction of homes brings increased training, danger, and operational requirements. We're in with Volkswagen to look at electric vehicles. We're trying to keep that training up several times a year. Safety impacts of increased workloads with the limited staffing, the fatigue, longer response times, longer reaction times, the crew stress, increased risk of injury and death of an incident. Again, we could go all the way out to Cohutta Road, Upper River. Some of those, even running an emergency, could take up to 20 minutes as a response. We had a fire recently in the city of Charleston. It warranted almost every building that we had to keep from burning 2 and 3 structures, and we kept it to 1 structure, and we had 20 plus people on the grounds, and the fire was just one of those just hard fires, and we had to have EMS there just to almost transport 2 firefighters. You guys done the field, the fire ops that we seen, that kind of gives an idea of what goes into that. 60 pounds of weight. You do that in July, it's not good. So here's some increasing demand, limited resources. This currently is, there are over 200 active construction permits for housing on file in 2024 and 28 active commercial construction permits between Bradley County Planning and Inspections. What you see here, this can be alarming sometimes when you see the NFPA, but that's just a standard for the fire department. It's standards and rules for fire department. In Tennessee, fire departments are guided by NFPA 1710 and 1720. Standards are recognized to the Tennessee Fire Commission to ensure the safe and effective operations. That sets our training. It goes off of those standards with ISO, our training records, gives us those certifications that we have to have. 1710 applies to career full-time departments, recommending a minimum of 4 firefighters per engine, and ladder companies establishing benchmarks to response times and crew deployment to ensure adequate fireground safety and staffing. 1720 applies to volunteer combination departments, setting standards for minimum response personnel and time benchmark based off population. And together, these standards emphasize the safe, effective, efficient firefighting and rescue operations require sufficient staffing to perform critical tasks such as search and rescue, fire attack, ventilation without undue risk of personal or to the public. In the last year and a half, we've pulled 7 in the last year and a half out of homes. 4 of those were up in the Tasso area. We had 5 was in Tasso area. We had 1 off Dalton Pike, was a young child. All these were able to pull out as well as fighting fire at the same time. It takes more than those few people to make that work. NFPA dictates that it's given the population density we serve, the minimum staffing, and safely, effectively operates a large incident for personnel on the apparatus. Currently, most stations are staffed. Again, this is one of those when the staffing kind of gets away from us. You can go down to 2 very quickly, and we don't want any kind of negligence or any liability on us. We want to try to prevent that from happening. Just same way with our safety meetings that we have quarterly. We're trying to keep those workers' comp claim down as we're just preparing for it, and that's what we're here doing with this. We've got 2 more guys that's got quick slides, and this will be almost over. Thank you.
Hang on one second. Before we start on the other, before I open it up to the audience, let us ask you
Yep, yes, sir.
questions at this point. All right, Commissioners, is there any questions for the chief about this? Commissioner?
Hey, are you still taking in the growth plan, where the growth plan is? Are we still using that area?
Yes.
So Mayor, do we have to take care of that? We'll be taking care of that for the next 2 years, right? Because we'll be getting paid for that.
You're talking about where they annex in the
Yes,
growth
where the
boundary?
new annex is.
If they annex in the growth boundary, but the area between the old growth boundary and the new growth boundary, then they reimburse us for lost revenue. But so far, I think I'm telling you correctly, the only one that's impacted has been exit 33. Keep in mind, it's where we expanded the growth area in this last plan, which we did at exit 33. But if it was here and we expanded it to there, then that area they would reimburse when they annex.
So we're Charleston, where they took in Charleston, the city of Charleston, right? In the annex.
And we know where they annexed exit 33.
Right.
That became an area that they would owe us the lost revenue.
But does the city have to take care of that now, or does the county still have to take care of that?
Well, they,
Or they just
in their plan
reimburse?
of service, they agreed to take care of it. In reality, it might be a different answer, but it's their responsibility, I think would be correct terminology. But again, we're going to be closer to exit 33 than they are.
But in 2 years, we'll be losing all the annex fire tax money.
Yeah, I think they make us through for 2 years, but that's a very small amount because that's the undeveloped tax rate at the time that we lost it. So it's a small amount. It's something, but it's a very small amount.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Chief? Chief, I'd like to thank you for showing us that. That was really great information. Shows the first responders, the hearts of first responders that we have here. We have some excellent employees, that's for sure, for the EMS, plumb down to the fire and the sheriff's department. And you almost have to have a special heart to be able to be a first responder. Let's just be quite honest with you. It's not open for everybody. And I know that we're here, a lot of it is about pay, but in the same sense, it shows what the heart of people are, that not all of us are here for the pay. It's just to help people. And with that, for all that's stuck it out and been with us, thank you. So I will say thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Now at this point, let's open it up to the public. So I know that's why I'm opening it up to the public. You're part of the public or the audience, so I'm going to open it up to the audience, and you've got 5 minutes. And if you need more, we'll extend it.
That's what I'm trying to say. This is part of the fire department's presentation. This presentation is not finished yet.
Chief, do you have more?
I don't. They've got a few more slides on that presentation, and
That's what I'm saying.
I don't have any more right now.
No, you can go ahead and stand up. You'll get your time to do what you need to do. Trust me. Just give your name and you'll have 5 minutes. If you need more time, we'll vote on that time and go from there. I don't see any problem with it, but we will go on from there. But you'll have what you need. Trust me.
Okay. Yeah, no problem at all. Thank you again. I'm Battalion Chief Justin Graylis. I've met a few of you, not many. I'm very much boots on the ground. You don't see me down here much. That's my wheelhouse, fire stuff. So the reason I'm up here speaking with Chief Stewart is because having that view on the ground maybe answer a few more questions for you guys. Been with Bradley County Rescue for roughly 13, 14 years. Going to touch a little on the state of the department, the apparatuses, the equipment, as touched on before, and some of the issues with turnover. Slide here. So we talk about modern tools, modern challenges. Okay. Well, we have recently acquired the trucks that you spoke of. the majority of the fleet still remains roughly 15 years old, many vehicles over 30. Aging fleet not only increases the risk of mechanical failure, basically maintenance costs, as discussed before, are skyrocketing. That's happening with quite a few of our trucks. Right here, I believe you guys have a printout of this as well. That shows the trucks we have and the age in years that they are. Good detailed spreadsheet. We speak of NFPA. NFPA 1901 dictates trucks older than 15 years require to be replaced if we're following NFPA. Something you heard referenced a few times again, and many may not be aware, is NFPA in general, or National Fire Protection Association. This is the authority on establishing minimum safety requirements to protect people, property, communities from fire or other hazards. They're an industry consensus standard. So as you can see here, according to 1901, this places roughly 70% of our current apparatus out of date or service life. Highlighted in orange, service life of 15 years per apparatus. Again, as Chief touched on, we can spread that out. We can make them last longer, but with each year we make them last longer, the cost goes up on maintenance because the parts aren't there anymore. It's breaking a lot. It's absolutely becoming an issue with the apparatus. Very simple table here. NFPA and departments across the country view these trucks as they reach certain age milestones. You see 0 to 10 years, they're good for front line. Should fully comply with NFPA. All the way to the bottom, if you look, 20 plus years, which we have several, where NFPA strongly advises replacement due to non-compliant safety performance standards. Touching more on modern tools, kind of where we're at with that. Much of our equipment is outdated, repeatedly handed down from older apparatus, making it unreliable, unsafe, again, expensive to maintain. Our hydraulic extrication tools, fire hoses from the early 2000s, are somewhat patched together on a few trucks. They fail, which is worst case scenario. Again, we talk about cost, just driving up the cost to fix these older model things. Very simply put, if you ask the constituents, if you showed some of the low pressure tools that we do have on front line, I don't believe they would want them first to come into an emergency with somebody trapped in a vehicle. NFPA standards require that firefighters' PPE be replaced at least every 10 years, as Chief stated, or sooner if damaged, to ensure safety, compliance. Sooner if damaged. Again, we're talking about the staffing issue we have is going to make equipment such as PPE not last near as long, because now instead of 15, 20 people on a fire scene doing the work, you have 8 to 10. That gear is going to go through it, because when they come out of the fire and take their break, a new set of people are not going in. They're taking their break, get their breath, they'll get it again. And they do a great job at that. But that equipment, that PPE, is taking a beating. With nearly all fire department operations now digital, paper-based systems are no longer an acceptable standard. You're talking about NEFRS, NERIS, pre-planning. Touched on that about on the trucks. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. Again, we talked about, these are just a few pictures of the equipment. Many of you saw that equipment firsthand on Fire Ops, and I implore you to come down to some of these departments and just check that equipment out. What I would say as a battalion chief, the biggest issue, we do a great job.
Do we have a motion to give him more time? Commissioner Gilbert, do we have a second? Second by Howard Thompson. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye.
I appreciate it, gentlemen. I'll make this quick. I'll make it a personal point, kind of where I'm at as a battalion chief. A lot of information to take in today. I do understand this. Of everything you see and hear today, the personnel issue is truly where the fear and concern lies going forward. I'm quite obviously not a commissioner. I'm not on any kind of board. Like I said, 100% firefighter, but I do understand the difficulties that that you all can be faced with trying to make this work. With that said, I am a battalion chief for our fire department. Being there for just 13, 14 years, I've watched with pride as Mayor Davis, Chief Stewart, we have Chief Corey Davis, Captain Stoney Matthews, and many others that have built the foundation in this fire department that I carry with an insane amount of pride. With that said, I am a commander for this department and know it's my responsibility to notify those that can evoke change, such as yourselves, when this foundation is showing cracks. This is why I'm standing here today. I'm a commander of 5 lieutenants and 2 captains. These are my officers. These officers are the absolute pillars of this department, and they're showing signs of collapse. I'm having to ask these officers to take on young, inexperienced, untrained applicants, spend a year or 2 molding them into a good firefighter, only to watch them take a job down the road in almost any direction. I then have to ask these officers to start over, do it again. There are times that we're asking them to stand outside a structure fire where somebody could be trapped inside. If you have a 2-man truck with a 2-man truck coming, or even 3, we have a rule: 2 men in, 2 men out. If 2 of us go in, there better be 2 outside that can come in and get me if we go down. They have to stand out there and do the math. Do I go against NFPA? Do I not wait for 2 more men, or do I go in there? They ask for forgiveness, but I can tell you right now, good or bad, these women, men and women, choose every time to go against what NFPA says, risk it all, go inside, come to me afterwards and ask for forgiveness. What these men and women do is nothing short of miraculous. Sorry, give me one. They are the few that have forsaken the norm, chose to stay due to loyalty and love like I do for the people of Bradley County. I couldn't be more proud. But now these few experienced great leaders are near a breaking point. I hear, Chief, I can no longer forsake the well-being of my family for the well-being of others. This is what I've been hearing over and over from those that have already given so much. And honestly, it does break my heart. These leaders are stealing time from their kids to work a second job. These leaders are stealing money from their family by not taking the same job down the road. Again, for this community, my officers, the last few great pillars holding the department up, are at a breaking point. This is not a plea. This is not a warning. I'm not blaming anybody. This is simply me doing my job as a battalion chief and letting you know about things you don't necessarily see from the outside because you simply can't. This stuff I'm speaking of obviously has immeasurable costs, so I'll dive back into some of the numbers real quick. The more men and women we lose, obviously, the more fire academies we have to have. There's a breakdown of the fire academies. You're talking per candidate, 11,000, NFPA 1403, in-house instructors overtime, 22,000. It definitely adds up. A breakdown, again, I believe you guys have this sheet. This is a simple breakdown of the cost for the candidates. The uniforms, the masks, talked about hoods, stuff like that. Again, it adds up. A lot of times it's simply, it's easier just keeping your men and women and not running through these constantly. Since 2020, UCFR has lost over 50 personnel, surrounding region and other careers. Estimated dollar value spent, roughly $2.5 million since 2020. How do we get those numbers? That's on there as well. Again, I know we always look at well, it's 8,000 to 10,000 for starting out. Yes, that's starting out. But when I'm talking about the pillars, I've got lieutenants that can get paid 15,000 to 20,000 more down the road. It's easier to look at the smaller, and those are very much some of the ones I'm concerned about. The current situation. Historically, BCFR has lost over 50 employees surrounding departments since 2020. First couple of years employment, making our turnover rate roughly 70%, retention rate is 31%, virtually unheard of. Many of the personnel who have left the department took with them years of valuable experience and institutional knowledge that could have continued to enhance the safety and protection of the citizens of Bradley County. Again, I appreciate you guys listening in the extra time. I appreciate that. And I hand it over to whoever.
Hey, Chief, thank you.
Thank you.
No, just state your name and we'll start you 5 minutes. And again, same process.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Noah Kripe. I'm a lieutenant with Bradley County Fire Rescue. I'm also the president of the Bradley County Fire and EMS Association, Local 4868. I want to first start by saying thank you to Chief Stewart and our command staff for letting us be a part of this presentation. It really means a lot. It really means a lot to us in our association to be a part of this and just kind of tell you guys how we feel. Many of our guys are struggling every day just to, put the uniform on and go to work to feed their families. So we appreciate you guys listening. So continuing on with this presentation. Currently at BCFR, our starting pay is $38,000 with a 31% retention rate. Tiered promotion is not updated and not financially sound to retain high quality employees. Pay difference is not worth it between firefighter and higher tier leadership driving positions. We have an issue seeing this. We have guys, I can think of one off the top of my head. He wants to stay an engineer because it's simply not worth promoting to him. It's not enough money between ranks. And right next to that, you see neighboring departments. Starting pay $50,000 to $60,000 per year. Higher retention due to pay. Tiered promotions equally tiered to match rank and duties. And then on this next slide, you'll see some of these departments. Right here on the top left is Chattanooga Fire Department. Obviously, we're not Chattanooga Fire Department. It's going to be one of the higher paid departments in our area. Just next to that, it's Cleveland City, $50,000 starting rate. They just voted on this in the middle of a budget year a week or two ago. And then the rest of these departments are departments we are about to lose people to or have lost people to over the years. Whitfield County, $51,000. Catoosa County, $50,000. Walker County, $52,000. Smyrna, $59,000. That's what Chief Stewart was talking about. That Middle Tennessee department where we might be losing somebody in the next couple months. Even though this may seem like a joke, unfortunately, this is a sad reality for our firefighters. We put Arby's, Aldi, and Publix in there. At Arby's, and experienced crew members at $39,000 per year. Aldi's at $36,000, just underneath our starting, as a starting cashier. And without all the heartache of running these calls, seeing these terrible things. Publix deli store clerk starts at $38,000, exactly what we make. And us, right here at the bottom, is at $38,000. So our association reached out to a loan officer last week, and we got some numbers just kind of off of what people say the American dream is, homeownership. So we went ahead and ran numbers for a $250,000 FHA loan. That's a low down payment loan. Requires roughly $8,700 for a down payment, roughly $17,000 cash minimum for closing costs, monthly payment estimated at around $1,800. If credit history reflects minimum monthly payments, such as car or credit card payment, they would need to $4,800 gross monthly income to qualify. Minimum required yearly salary to own a lower value home in today's economy is $57,600, with the average house being around $300,000 to $350,000 a year. Just not obtainable with the current salary of from captain all the way down to firefighter and the cost of living expenses. Retaining experienced firefighters, protecting expertise, safety, and operational effectiveness is what we need to survive. So currently our starting pay for firefighters is at $38,000 a year. What we're kind of needing to happen or wanting to see happen is a 25% increase on the starting pay. That would bring it up to $48,078. Once we bump that starting pay up, we want to see a 15% salary increase per rank from firefighter to engineer, engineer to lieutenant, so on and so forth. Once we have that in place, we want to see a 1.5% per year for longevity pay, not including the 3% cost of living increase to maintain staff retention. And then that total salary line item would be $1,336,421.39. That includes 18% on top of it for benefits, taxes, etc. This right here is the pay schedule, and every single one of you have this in front of you in that packet. This is kind of the pay schedule that our command staff and us put together, just kind of what we're wanting to see with those numbers we just gave you. This pay schedule can happen with that $1,336,000. So earlier on the presentation, we also talked about staffing, the two in, two out, what Battalion Chief Justin Grayless was talking about. We also talked about the pre-plans, the new commercial buildings, the new residential coming in. We have a lot of pouring into our community from commercial, residential, and everything else. We'd like to see a full-time fire marshal to meet the growth of the county businesses and ISO requirements, fees, inspections, and pre-plans. That full-time fire marshal is worked into that $1,336,000 number. We want to see also 12 additional staff to achieve minimum staffing of at least 3 per apparatus at outlying stations and 4 per apparatus at main stations to meet minimum safety standards. That is still underneath that 4-man.
Motion to give more time. Second by Commissioner Winters. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners. Cost of the additional staff would be $680,784. We talked about our apparatus and it being an issue. Chief Stewart talked about the wait time on these apparatus. So we came up with 2 different options. Obviously, these can be adjusted. We're just firemen. Y'all are the financial people. Y'all are the decision makers. But we came up with 2 options that kind of give different options. Option 1 would gradually increase the fire budget by about $1 million each year for the next 3 years to purchase 1 new engine per year. After all 3 engines are secured, reduce that line item to roughly $500,000 annually to maintain a steady apparatus replacement or sinking fund for future need. Option 2 would be an upfront investment. We'd allocate $3 to $4 million from the capital funds immediately to purchase 3 new engines at once to stop the bleeding. Beginning the following year, establish a recurring $500,000 annual contribution to sustain the apparatus replacement fund moving forward. Right now, we have no kind of sinking fund for apparatus in place that we're aware of. That's obviously can become an issue due to that wait time on apparatus. So we went ahead and got with some vendors and went ahead and pulled prices of average apparatus and equipment to put on those apparatus. As you can see on the left side here, brush truck is around $75,000. The ladder truck is about $2.5 million now. Engines $1.2 million. Tanker $400,000. Rescue $250,000. Command vehicle $45,000 to $55,000. And then to put brand new equipment on those apparatus, brush truck $5,000 to $10,000. Ladder truck $50,000 to $70,000. Engines around $90,000 to $100,000. Tankers $12,000 to $15,000. Rescue $80,000. Command vehicle around $15,000. Again, I really just want to share the importance. To note, the waiting period for new apparatus is estimated 3 to 6 years of manufacturing time from factory to delivery, obviously vehicle type dependent. That right there is really something that we need to look into. So we went ahead and we didn't want to just bring these numbers to you without bringing you what our maintenance cost has been just this year and last year. So this year, the 4 engines that Chief Stewart was talking about, engine 5, engine 11, engine 12, and engine 13. Those engines, you can see, are costing us some good money, over half of what our frontline engines maintenance line goes to. Engine 5 is at $53,000, engine 11 $20,000, 12 $30,000, and engine 13 is around $28,000 per year. As you can see, getting those 2 new engines last year and engine 10, Chief, what year is engine 10? And so we got engine 10 in 2021. As you can see, those costs are significantly less maintenance cost. Training and compliance investments. We talked. Chief Stewart said and talked about that we do all these in-house trainings. We have really qualified instructors out here, just in this audience right now. Our current line item for education resources is $4,000. What we're suggesting is a line item and change the name to training, maintenance, and educational resources. We want to see that line item come up to $15,000. This newly appointed line item will fund all training-related expenses in regards to upkeep and maintenance to the current outdated state-recognized training facility located on Dalton Pike, books and certification resources, and off-site advanced training courses needed to maintain our high-quality services. So, in summary, our totals for the first year, salaries including chief officers and full-time fire marshal, that number right there would be $1,336,421. Additional personnel, that'd be 12 additional personnel, 3-man on each truck, minimum, would be $680,784. Then we talked about option 1. If we were to add option 1 that first year onto this, that would be an additional $1 million to that budget. Equipment, we went ahead and put $200,000. That'd be the modernization of hand tools and extrication equipment. And those of you that were at Fire Ops, Chief Stewart talked about it out there, but just for getting the extrication equipment on 1, 4, and 5 to get those updated, that right there alone is $100,000. The total increase to the budget for year one would be $3,217,205. Total budget amount would be $9,317,205. Without the apparatus option, it'd be $8,317,000 for the first year. So immediate actions required. Stabilize staffing before further losses and stop the bleed. Salaries are a priority that must be addressed immediately. Current staffing levels and currently impacted by low wages. Recruitment and retention are failing due to compensation not being competitive. We're requesting immediate increase to stop the bleeding. $1,336,421.39, salaries and full-time fire marshal. While apparatus replacement, equipment upgrades, and additional personnel remain critical needs that must be addressed in the upcoming budget cycle, immediate action on salaries cannot wait. Delaying necessary salary adjustments any further places Bradley County at a risk of the most significant loss of personnel in its history, as surrounding agencies continue to offer higher wages and are actively recruiting our firefighters. We need to really address just driving into the city, 10 minutes. Our firefighters can make an additional $12,000 per year, more than I'm making as a lieutenant at Bradley County Fire Rescue. If the county chooses apparatus replacement option 2, this purchase would be funded through the capital fund, would not require adding the $1 million annual apparatus amount to the operational budget increase for the first year, ensuring that immediate salary stabilization remains the primary focus at this time. And then I was going to hand this back off to Chief Stewart, but his time's over now, so I'll go ahead and finish this out. Together we can protect Bradley County and the future of it. Bradley County Fire Rescue is a critical point where growth, modernization, and safety demands are outpacing current resources. To ensure compliance with NFPA standards, maintain operational readiness, and protect both firefighters and the community, the department requires immediate increased funding, additional staffing, and updated equipment. Meeting these needs is essential to modernize our operations, reduce risk, and sustain personnel capable fire service. Thank you all for your time and attention today. Your support and engagement are critical as we work together to strengthen Bradley County and ensure the safety and well-being of our community. We respectfully request your consideration on the much-needed funding, updated equipment, and additional resources to ensure Bradley County Fire Rescue can operate safely, effectively, and in compliance with modern standards. This last slide, and again, you have it all in front of you, is any questions or input you have. We'd love to hear it, and we really do appreciate y'all's time. We're not here to be a thorn in anybody's side. We really just want to work together on this and get our men and women funding that they deserve. So thank you.
Noah, thank you. Extremely thorough. Is there any questions for Noah by any chance from the commission? Commissioner Gilbert.
Chief, how long you been chief?
December will be 2 years. Not almost 2 years.
So, have you been working on a budget that you'd have to have all this?
This past year was my first budget I've done on my own. The one before that was prior administration.
Everything that these guys are asking for and needing, is it in on that budget?
No.
I know that I was sitting here thinking about my mom and dad. My mom used to tell my dad all the time, "Can't you tell him he done a good job? Can't you tell him he done a good job?" My dad looked at me and say, "You want paid? You want me to tell you to do a good job?" But I'm kind of got a little my mama and my daddy, and I want you to know you done a good job, but I still want you to get paid right. Man, we can do better. I don't know how. I don't know the budgets. I don't know the numbers. I could say this is my fourth. This is my third year being here. But the 6 people that you had already budgeted, I don't know if the commissioner or mayor who has to decide, probably the mayor's spot, to see if you couldn't put that money somehow back in these guys' pocket a little bit, or into some equipment that they don't have the number one piece of equipment I'd like to see them have is the suits they wear and the mask they put on. That's the main part, is protecting them. Getting to the fire would be the second part. But, I don't know. That's just what I've sat here and wrote down. I'm thinking, wow, how did we get here? Did get here overnight? Man, that's all for me.
Any other questions? Commissioner Thompson?
I could ask a lot of questions, I guess. But, no matter what, it takes revenue. Pennies won't buy it. Penny and taxes will buy it. But, I know time we started out to the point that we are now, that we've come a long ways when it comes to the fire department. And I also understand that, sometimes their salaries don't match their neighbors' salaries. And I understand the firemen being interested in, or being, I guess, affected by this. And I know all of us want more money. It takes more money now to raise your family, make things work. So this is something I think that between now and budget year that we're going to have to think about. And it's not a lot that we can do right now, but we can think a lot between now and budget year and see what we can do. So I'm for you all the way. You do a good job. I see you all the time on 64 Highway. I see you a lot. And I know you do a good job. So does ambulance service and all the sheriff's office and everybody else. But, and I understand that that you need more money for your family. So this is just something we're going to have to think about hard between now and budget time. There's not a lot that we can do right now, except start studying what we're going to do. So I'm for what it takes, not to make you happy, but make you successful as a fireman. But anyway, it's something that we're going to have to work on when now budget time. And at that time, the fireman is going to have to stand behind the people that make that decision. And that's the 14 people that sit right up here. They'll be the one that have to make a decision as what to do. So anyway, I thank y'all for coming today. This is good information and good planning for the future. And I just hope that things will turn out good. That's all I have.
Do we have any other questions or statements? Commissioner Winters.
First of all, for me, thank you for the preparation, the hard work you put together for this. Everything requires dollars and cents, as you know. All the wishing and hoping and wanting to have comes down with dollars and cents. What we can do and what we can't do. My district is a city. County people live in the city, as you know, my district. Well, I think for we that are in the city, we want the best for the county as well. I'm a county guy. My kids, I went through county schools, the whole 9 yards here. But if you want these things, it's just like a daddy that looks down to his children, and his children keep coming, Daddy, I like to have this, I'd like to have this, I'd like to have this. And that daddy, that mom, look at what really they need, what they can do also in the wants. That's what many times we have to deal with here. And my 16 years, I've raised taxes twice. I was still elected because my public realized what they were getting. City people realized what we were getting. County people realized what we were getting. I think the public needs to know, and this will be a way to get that point out there. But how we can come up, it's all a matter of, it's not these 14 people that make a decision here. If the public wants to make sure that the county fire department, at the levels we're talking about here, then the public's going to have to share back with us as the deciding factor here of whether this can happen or not. So I worked for the county for many years, and I worked for Lee College for many years. I received a whole lot less than my peers working in other institutions. So sometimes we just have to pick where we're going to work because we like where we are. We like the people we work with and the camaraderie that you have and all that. You got to put it all together at a point in time. So you got to talk to your, I guess bottom line here, you got to talk to your folks that get your service. Let those folks know that you need the money as well besides us here that make the decision. But we try to make the decisions that our constituents agree with. That's where we are. Thank you for what you presented. Thank you, Mr.
I just want to kind of touch on that. We did hand a petition up there, and it should, I don't know if every single one of you seen it, but there is over 700 people that signed a petition supporting more funding for the Bradley County Fire Rescue. Unfortunately, we need to see a change. To say that, you know, you can enjoy where you work. Yes, we all love Bradley County. We all love serving the community that we live in. Unfortunately, if we can't raise a family working for the community that we live in, what do we tell our guys? What does this commission expect us to tell our guys? How does this commission want us to address our firefighters who come to us as leaders in our department? How would you guys want us to address them? And that's a genuine question. I want you guys to answer that. How would you address your guys as leadership? How would you as leadership stand without crumbling when your guys are coming to you saying they can't feed their family? That's a genuine question. That's all I have, and I appreciate it.
Mr. Gilbert.
I just got one more thing to say. You've opened the dialogue. You've come and done what you're supposed to do. Now the work begins. Now the people can start talking, and they can start acting on it. But I want to thank you for coming and opening this up. It couldn't happen without you opening it up, because now we can sit and talk to each other about it, because it's already been spoken about. Thank you.
Any other? Oh, please. Just state your name. You've got 5 minutes.
Caleb Lazatter, Bradley County Fire Rescue District. I'll read off the first question, kind of turn. That's industrial firefighting, which is different than what we do serving our community. But he got basically $38,000 a year to $40,000 or $80,000, which is a little bit different. I understand that. But I want to read this first question. in the past 30 days, have you run out of money personally until your next paycheck? 47% of guys said strongly agree, and 29% said agree. That's a huge number. And I understand that there's a psychology of money, but we're at a point now, it's not a psychology of money. It is simply, going to the grocery store. I've got 2 children and a wife. My wife works. The other day, I worked a 36-hour shift. I worked 12 hours at night for EMS. I went into my shift, and I worked 2 structure fires that day back to back. I was exhausted. And that is just the strain that it puts on you, on top of everything else. So I'm going to read this. This is from Samuel Spence, who he left probably about a year ago. I would like to preface this letter by stating that the views expressed here are that of my own and do not in any way reflect the input or stance of any of my family members who may be currently or formerly employed by this county. I had the privilege of serving with Bradley County Fire for approximately 3 years. During that time, I got to work with some of the most brave, dedicated, and selfless individuals you will ever meet. My family has dedicated over 100 years of service to this community. While it is largely cherished as a great honor, it has come at a great cost to many people that I love and care for deeply. Pay. Firefighters in Bradley County earn roughly $40,000 a year, which is comparable to what someone can make working fast food, retail, or a warehouse job. But unlike those jobs, firefighters run into burning homes, cut people out of mangled vehicles, respond to shootings, suicides, medical emergencies, while silently carrying the emotional weight of every tragedy they witness. When the county pays them nearly the same as an entry-level position requiring no training or risk, it tells these men and women that their sacrifices are worth little more than minimum wage labor. The benefit situation places an even heavier burden on Bradley County firefighters and their families. While the county covers the employee individual health insurance premium, the moment a firefighter adds a spouse or a child to their plan, the county contribution stops entirely. Family coverage jumps to nearly $1,300 a month, a cost that is simply impossible to manage on a firefighter's salary of $40,000. This forces firefighters into an impossible situation. Many go without insurance for their families. Others take on crushing out-of-pocket costs or work additional jobs just to provide basic health care for the people they love. And all of this happens while they work in a career where the risk of bringing home illness, toxic exposure, or infectious disease is already a part of the job. Firefighters regularly encounter carcinogens, communicable diseases, smoke contaminants, and hazardous materials, risks that do not stay neatly contained on the fire ground. Their family carries that risk with them every day. Health insurance is supposed to be a benefit, but in its current form, it has become a financial and emotional strain that leaves firefighter families unprotected and vulnerable. A system that forces public servants to choose between protecting their community and protecting their own families is a system that desperately needs reform. Psychological. Beyond the financial strain, the psychological toll of this profession is something few outside of emergency services ever truly see. Firefighters respond to the worst moments of people's lives, such as fatal wrecks, cardiac arrests, suicides, child injuries, domestic violence, and scenes that leave lasting images and stress responses that no amount of training can erase. These are not isolated events. They are routine parts of the job. The weight of these calls follows firefighters home, affecting their sleep, their relationship, and their overall mental health. The expectation placed on them is relentless. They must be steady, composed, and ready for the next emergency, even when the last one is still replaying in their mind. There is a culture of pushing through trauma because the community depends on them being strong. But even the strongest individuals have limits. When you combine this emotional burden with low pay, inadequate benefits, and the stress of supporting a family on wages that barely cover basic needs, it creates an unhealthy and unsustainable environment. Arguments I've heard: you get to sleep on shift, so it shouldn't really count as work. You don't need a degree to work there, so why do you deserve more pay? You get 2 days off after every shift. To those arguments, I have this to offer. Many nights, firefighters wake up multiple times to respond to a number of differing incidents. Many may be false alarms, some can be lift assist, and some can be outright scarring. Regardless of the nature of these calls, years of interrupted sleep and adrenaline dumps have lasting negative impacts that can be shown through scientific studies and data. Sure, you don't need a degree to be a firefighter. However, you do need hazmat awareness, hazmat operations, Fire 1, Fire 2, EMR. Many have EMT or higher, which is college level education, hazmat technician, pumper driver operator,
hazmat technician, rope technician, aerial operator, Swiftwater 1 and 2, etc. I could go on forever about the continuing education that is required in order to keep this county subject to meeting not only ISO criteria, but mainly just ensuring adequate preparation for service to the community. Do we really get 2 days off after every shift? The majority of these people have to work overtime with EMS or go to a second job after that. That's not leisure time. It's a ridiculous attempt at justifying where things lie currently. Why I left. Shortly after Mayor Davis was reelected the last run, he came to the HQ building and addressed fire and EMS. He stated, "We can hire a firefighter straight off the street to fill this position." While this statement was hilariously false, it was also the perfect indication to me that the local politicians truly don't care about the people working. I have a wife and 3 children. I'm accountable for their well-being, for providing them security in the future. $43,000 a year is far from the life they deserved. Working a second job was not an option for me. I spent over 7 years of active duty in the United States Marine Corps, and I have missed out on enough family time already. I could not justify placing the needs of this community over the needs of my family when the return is negligible. I've carried the lifeless body of a 2-year-old boy who drowned. The next day, I took my 2-year-old to one of his swimming lessons. I've held the hand of a teenage girl while she was crushed inside a vehicle, while she was screaming for me to help as my best friends were cutting her out. I ran 3 CPR calls after midnight on Christmas Eve, and then went home to watch my children open their presents, hoping the sleepless night of death I had wasn't ruining their magic. I've listened to a mother scream as she realized her son had burned alive in an atrocious car wreck, and I felt his bodily fluids leak through my extrication gloves as we pulled him out. I've been thrown up on by drunks. I've had to restrain drug addicts with swastika tattoos so that EMS could properly treat them. I've responded to combative patients with infectious disease such as hepatitis. I have Narcaned a patient in the bathroom only to discover he was unconscious because he had smoked fentanyl in the very room I was standing in. I'm not looking for a thank you. To be honest, I never really wanted one. I wanted the ability to provide for my family with dignity. This information is to inform you of some of the things that these people do daily. I stand no benefit from a raise. I am nothing more than a taxpayer and a beneficiary of these men and women now. At some point, the cost of doing business becomes too great. How much longer will it be before the rest of your employees are enlightened to this as well? This group of people is always worried about cost, so I leave you with this. What does it cost to work for the county? What does it cost to watch qualified people walk away? What does it cost to ignore the statements they offer you? Can you afford to continue this way? Very respectfully, Samuel Spence.
My name is Stoney Matthews. I'm a captain with Bradley County Fire Department. I've been doing this for 36 plus years. A couple commissioners that are up there right now helped start this fire department. We've been doing this a long time. The equipment that we are running in some of these outlying stations, and currently the station that I'm stationed at, is some of the original fire equipment that we put in place, that a couple commissioners up here voted several years ago and put in place. Equipment's getting old. When I got here, before the commission would vote to build a station in each one of these districts, they had to be at least 30 members to volunteer. You've looked at some of the slides. We only have 35 members as volunteers throughout the entire county. People have to work, and the sense of the communities, they are not volunteering. They're not there. So you're relying on these young men and women to come into this department for the pay and the hours that they're having to work. I'm getting old. I'm at the end of my career. I can't do this forever. These young men and women are going to need to be taken care of. I'm a taxpayer. I live here. I got multiple properties in this county. I pay multiple fire taxes. And I'm happy to do that. And I'm going to continue to be happy to do that when I'm not even working for this county. Y'all talk about this 24-hour on and 48-hour off. Our day does not end until after 8 o'clock at the fire hall. Most jobs want you there at 7:30, 8 o'clock to respond and to go to those jobs. We have to, you want us to get another job, or these young men and women to get another job. So that limits the jobs that they can get. There's a lot of jobs that want dedication out of that employee. There's, so we have to go in and work those hours, and then the next day work. They're already spending, not correct, I might be wrong in my hours, we're already spending 1,100 hours, no, 700 something hours extra a year away from our families than a regular person working a 40-hour week. So you're telling these young men and women to buckle up, do the hard work. They already are. They already are. Got nothing to do with me. I have another career, but something that I started before I got into the fire service. A long time. And some of these guys and women, men and women, cannot just go get a job just anywhere. They either had to start their own business to be able to work around the hours that they're working. That's not easy to do in this day and time. This commission took on this task a long time ago to have a fire department. And I understand when they first started, it was not supposed to be paid. But they decided a couple of years after that to make it paid. So it's y'all's duty to keep up with the stuff and keep up with the pay to take care of these men and women. Y'all, something y'all signed on to do. As a business owner, I signed on to take care of my employees, and I tried to do that. That's all I got to say.
Captain Stoney.
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. I have a quick question for you. I know where you're located at, okay? But to help everybody else understand where the outlining buildings that we're talking about, I think some of them don't realize what the outlining buildings are. So where are you located at as far as your
located
department?
at Station 5, which is on Prospect, which is a Prospect Station, which is on Harrison Pike.
So it's not that far out for the ones that
We're
are
7 miles from downtown.
Yeah.
So it is one of the outline stations that they call, but it is one of the stations that's first called to these other fires, the other fire districts to respond to them.
Which city is moving really close to you guys at this point?
They have taken a lot of our district. They've
So
taken down New Murraytown Road, down Freewheel. They've also taken Pleasant Grove Road, and then they've took out a lot of some of the new developments supposed to be in front of the KOA now. We've lost a lot of district.
I just say that because the outlining stations are becoming the inlining pretty quick.
Yes,
So,
yes, they are.
so
And like I said, our mini pumper, which is / a brush truck, is a 96 model. That's it shows leaks and on multiple ends from one end of it to the other. Y'all know, I guarantee you, there's probably not a car, one of y'all own a car that's a 96 model unless it's an antique and now y'all are expecting it to go to a fire. So, yes, and actually I took it yesterday to a fire. So it is still going, but there's a lot of stuff that does, that you cannot get parts for.
Commissioner Thompson, I think, has a question.
Yes.
Also.
You had an ISO rating today. Could you use that truck in the ISO, in the rating part?
I do not have the answer to that. I do not think so. I don't think it pumps enough and holds enough stuff, but I do not have the true answer.
Chief.
Chief.
Yeah, ISO is more your residential fires. They base it off your water, which is your bigger trucks. That truck, it does not. It's just strictly half of our fire calls are brush fires. That is a major truck for all of our brush fires. And you got to remember, in his area, he's got areas that's got wooden bridges and very small roads that requires that truck to get up in that a big truck cannot get up in.
I guess if you had ISO rating today, would all your trucks be eligible to qualify in that? Or bigger trucks or tankers? You got some older tankers?
Yeah, now all of our trucks right now, they meet everything right now. Yeah, I mean, it's just equipment. Make sure they pass pump testing, those things like that. But when you're looking at, a few years with a 30-year-old truck or, whatever, we just need to get something going with that.
I've seen something in here that said that when a truck gets ISO, or I guess the Fire Administration says after it gets so old, why it needs to be replaced. What is that? How many years is that? 9 years? I've seen it somewhere there.
That's an NFPA rule. That's just a standard rule.
Yeah.
We're at 30 in some of those already, but ISO, as long as it passes our equipment test and our pump testing, that's fine. But as Captain Matthews said, it's our equipment, or it's our parts that we can't find for some of these older vehicles. Even some of them are 15 years old, we're struggling. We got some, it's hard to find parts.
Touch on the parts. Like I've been around a long time. The mini pumper, we've had a couple things with the throttle, trying to throttle it up, and the can't find that part. We've actually had to make some of the parts to keep that truck going. The front end of that truck was an aftermarket front end, so it is very hard to find the parts for that because it was not originally, when they first made those Super Duties, they did not offer a four-wheel drive in them from Ford. So it is, and we have approximately, 4 of those mini pumpers still in the fleet? 6 of those still in the fleet that we're asking to be ran pretty regular, especially during brush season.
Captain, just one statement, has nothing, it's unrelated.
Yes.
After the meeting, can I speak with
Yes,
you, please? Thank you.
Absolutely.
Is there any other questions from the commission? Do you have anything else? Anyone else from the audience?